Okay, good morning again. Welcome to Borough Hall. My name is Abe Friedman. I serve as the Intergovernment Director for the Borough President. Today we're very excited to have such a diverse group, as you're going to hear from the Borough President, part of the initiative Hero of the Month. Congratulations to all our honorees. And without further ado, I would like to introduce the Borough President, Eric Adams.
Thank you. Thank you. You can clap. He's about to, he's following the rest of your lead. But clearly we clap for each other because these are our heroes, and I say often, as the Borough President, I am not elected to be served, I'm elected to serve. I served this city for 22 years, wearing a bulletproof vest, protecting the children and families of this city. And I am really pleased to be here with not only the men and women in blue uniforms, but our educators and everyday people who are doing extraordinary things to show what makes this borough a great place. And so we have several Heroes of the Month that we want to acknowledge. The first Hero of the Month is our July Hero of the Month is Dishes by Doe. The August Hero of the Month is NYPD Officer Christopher O'Neill of the 88th Precinct. Where's Christopher? That's my old precinct. The September Hero of the Month is PS 8011 Connie Lekas, School Principal Antoinette Rose. And our October Hero of the Month, you can clap again, that's all right. Our October Hero of the Month is NYPD Officers Michael Brady, Christopher Garcia, Arsalan Sulaiman, and Brett Telesford of Transit District 33, all of whom helped to receive an unconscious man. And so all of them, let's first give them all a warm round of applause. This is just an excellent way of pausing in this busy borough and city to just look at some of the things. Oftentimes you pick up the papers and you see all the bad news and all the conflict and all the strife without realizing under that sense of non-uniformity, there's this everyday people who are doing great things. I always reflect on September 11th, when I was a lieutenant, and how traumatizing that was when our center of trade was attacked. But what many people focus on that day, they don't focus on September 12th. September 12th, our teachers got up and taught, our police officers policed, our firefighters continued to put out fires. Our city moved on, and it's moved on because we have what the founder of Snapple always says, I like to borrow from. This city is great because we're made up of the best stuff on earth, and that's the people that make up this city. And here's some of these people that are here that are part of the fabric of this government. Doesn't matter who's the mayor, doesn't matter who's the president, doesn't matter what happens abroad. We continue to make sure that the greatest city on the globe continues to move and to thrive and to grow, and we will always do that. And so we want to honor our first Hero of the Month, Dishes by Doe. I was really moved when I heard about this group. It is a affiliation of the Doe Fund, a great organization doing great things with people, allowing them to put their lives on the right track, even when it goes off track. Even when you hit a bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn. And these men that are part of the Doe Fund are making the turn every day and doing the right thing. It's a culinary arts training to learn the basic skills of baking and cooking, broad culinary education, and some choose to specialize in the field. Cooking food and health is so important. Upon graduating from Ready, Willing, and Able, some bakers are hired as Doe Fund employees, and others go on to be employed in bakeries and restaurants throughout New York City. These tools enable formerly incarcerated and homeless men and to find jobs in some of New York City's most a renowned restaurant, and led self-sufficient and fulfillment lives. Formerly incarcerated, being honored next to our New York City finest. That is what this is all about, bringing great people together to do great things. And so we want to honor this first group for Hero of the Month, the graduates from this great institution, the Doe Fund, and the culinary art program. My good friend George McDonald, these young men have gone from making illegal dough to making dough that would feed us all, so I thank you, George, for what you are doing, and so to you and your organization, on behalf of all Brooklynites, I salute Dishes by Doe, overseen by Peter Bissett and also Gino D'Alessandro, the Director of Food Services, for giving formerly incarcerated individuals the opportunity to be employed by preparing dough for various baking treats, including breads, cookies, brownies, which are packaged and transported to various farmers markets around the city to be sold. I applaud them and the organization Dishes by Doe for overcoming hardships and for deciding to make a positive and productive change in their lives. And I thank them for being Heroes of the Month. Dishes by Doe. George?
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, as everybody can tell, neither I nor the Borough President are eating the baked goods. Good morning, and thank you so much. Let's hear it for the Borough President, the finest, Eric Adams. I want to just briefly introduce Gino D'Alessandro, Chrono Williams, Daniel Joro, Angel Lopez, and Jason Finder. Let's give them a round of applause. They're the true heroes. And just let me say this, the Borough President touched on it, and I am proud to be here with the finest of our city who protect and serve us every day. They get up and go out and risk their lives for us, and thank you for your service. And I'm proud to be here with these gentlemen, these fine gentlemen who have taken responsibility for their lives. They're contributing, tax-paying members of society, just what we want. And we're led by a fine public servant, an elected official who has actual experience in life, who's actually been out there on the streets, the highways and the byways of our borough and our city, working hard to find out what's best for us. And now we're in the middle of this godforsaken election where, unfortunately, we're pitting Americans against Americans, when people could look across America at the people in this room right now and see the diversity that we celebrate. And we are New York City. We are Brooklyn. We are America. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't you ever run for Borough President. Yes, so true. Our next honoree is from the 88th Precinct, Christopher O'Neill, Hero of the Month for August. NYPD Officer O'Neill, the 88th, is a rookie cop who served 2 years as a Navy combat medic in Afghanistan. So he's really just empowered to serve and save the life of a knife fight victim in Fort Greene who was bleeding from several armed artery. And when the person is armed with a knife, that officer, and they're using it in a deadly way, that officer has the authority to use deadly physical force. But this officer, even as a rookie, showed a great level of restraint. On Saturday, August 13, Officer O'Neill encountered a 30-year-old victim of a knife fight on Carlton Avenue. The victim was bleeding from several arteries in his upper left arm, and he may have had minutes to live. Officer O'Neill rushed to his patrol car and grabbed the trauma kit from his trunk, which is a great addition to police training. He used it to create a tourniquet and save the gentleman alive until EMS arrived. Officer O'Neill was just a low-key response, and I love his response. He stated, "It makes me feel good that I can help this man. I did my job, that is it." And that is why we realize Officer O'Neill is the hero of the month. On behalf of all Brooklynites, I salute Police Officer Christopher O'Neill of the 88th Precinct, a former naval officer and served as a combat medic in Afghanistan, for coming to the aid of a wounded man while patrolling the streets of Fort Greene one night in August this year. I applaud him for administering first aid to a 36-year-old man who was involved in a knife fight, who stood in the middle of Carlton Avenue and gave him immediate first aid to compress the victim's arm to stop the blood flow. And I thank him for saving the life of this gentleman and for what he has done as being a hero of the month here in the borough of Brooklyn. Police Officer Christopher O'Neill. Speaking on his behalf will be his commanding officer of the 88th Precinct.
Oh, good morning, everyone. First of all, let me just thank the Borough President for this great morning, for honoring everyone that's here. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
We really appreciate the acknowledgement. Just speaking very briefly about Police Officer O'Neill, I can't say enough about this young man. He's obviously a very serious individual, but he comes into work every day with this attitude that he's just here to serve. And his approach is really, to me, indicative of the great work that's getting done by all of our officers that are here today and really in the department. We may not always get the opportunity to do what Officer O'Neill does, but I can say that our officers definitely, do the great work every day, and we couldn't be more thankful and we couldn't be more proud of Officer O'Neill. So thank you once again for the opportunity, and great work, Chris. Thank you.
Well said, Captain. Our next hero of the month for the month of September is PS 811 Connie, Lekas School Principal, Antoinette Rose, an educator in Sheepshead Bay. You could give her a hand. Who has enriched her students with special needs through annual summer block parties, this year celebrating the Olympics Games in Rio. This is actually my second time in recent weeks being with Principal Rose. Just a couple of weeks ago, we presented her school with a $104,000 capital grant to fund a new STEM lab. So we're really pleased about that. The principal of this great school is one of our District 75 schools, and it's so important that educators who are in our District 75 school understand the quality, the care, and the aspirations of our students in those schools. They want the same level of dignity, respect, and ability to move on with their lives, and Principal Rose clearly understands that. 5 years ago, Principal Rose started the block party as a celebration of all of her students' hard labor during the summer months, and at one last hurrah before the school year again in the fall. Hundreds of students between the ages of 12 to 21 have participated in these special gatherings. This year's activity applied when they learned about competition and sportsmanship in the classroom to games they didn't get to participate in, and so she uses the opportunity to connect real-life experience with the educational experience. She's for showing the true Olympic heart and spirit and helping to expand opportunities from some of our most underserved Brooklynites. I am proud to honor Principal Rose and her students for the great thing that she's doing for touching the lives of these students every day. Principal Rose. On behalf of all Brooklynites, I salute Antoinette Rose, principal of PS 811 in Sheepshead Bay, for helping to organize the school's annual summer block party and having the opportunity or giving the opportunity to young people to experience the joy and appreciation of learning the opportunities of sports. I applaud her for exemplary leadership she has shown by providing the opportunity for the students to enjoy speeding down the water slide. I love that. My best ride. And for allowing them to enjoy the beauty of the outdoors. I commend her and the school staff for celebrating the students' lives, ability, and determination and commitment. We are honored to honor you as our Hero of the Month, Antoinette Rose, principal of PS 811.
First of all, I'd like to thank our Borough President, Adams, for always looking out for my students. Thank you so much for your support. We have a lot of elected officials, and not too many of them put their money where their mouth is. Adams does, and we appreciate that. I also would like to thank my staff members who are here today supporting me, but mostly I want to thank my students because they are the ones and the reason why I do what I do every day. Thank you. My father is also here to support me today. I have to tell you that District 75 is the district in New York City that services the most neediest of New Yorkers, our students with special needs. And so we must provide them with access. We must provide safety for them, and we must provide them with a quality education. And at my school, that is what I strive to do with my staff daily. So thank you again for this honor.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And finally, I started my policing career in the Transit Police Department, District 33 over on Eastern Parkway. Busy command, always has been a busy command. So we want to honor the Heroes of the Month for October. Our NYPD officers, Michael Brady, Christopher Garcia, Arsalan Sulaiman, and Brett Telesford of Transit District 33, all of whom helped to revive an unconscious man with no pulse inside the Marcy Avenue subway station. Any day you start your day, you don't know what you are going to face. Oftentimes people don't realize being a police officer, when you walk outside that command and start your day, from the day you start, you have to be on high alert. You could be dealing with someone with a knife. You could deal with someone who has lost a pulse, is not breathing. All of that training kicks in. I don't know if people realize the term New York City finest is not something that's just thrown around. NYPD has the finest police department on the globe, and with all the noise about policing in America, these guys, ladies and gentlemen, are never distracted. They get up every day, put on that uniform, put that chill on their chest, and go out there and do the job. They do the job, and it's just amazing that they're never distracted, never deterred, just determined to get the job done. And the heroes that we acknowledge today really personifies that. And I cannot emphasize that enough. Wherever I go, guys, I tell you, I let people know, no matter what country I am in, no matter where I am, I let them know the first thing. Before I say I was a state senator, before I say I was a borough president, I let them know, hey, I was a member of the New York City Police Department. That resonates across the globe. Everyone knows NYPD, and it's because of actions like this. On Thursday, October 6th, these fine officers were conducting patrol at the Marcy Avenue station, where they observed a 60-year-old male enter through the turnstile area and collapse. The officers immediately began to render aid to the individual and determined that he had no pulse and was not breathing. Officer Sulaiman initiated CPR as Officer Brady secured the scene and requested the response of EMS and a unit with a defibrillator. Officer Garcia in Telesford immediately responded to the request for assistance. Due to an earlier track fire and suspension of service along the L line, traffic in the area was unusually heavy. Realizing the urgency of the situation, Officer Garcia in Telesford parked their vehicle, retrieved the defibrillator, and ran 2 blocks to the station past the responding ambulance, which was also stuck in traffic. Notice that, right? Ambulance was stuck in traffic. These officers got out of their vehicle and ran the 2 blocks to save this person's life. Once on the scene, the 4 officers coordinated together with an unidentified Good Samaritan and continued to perform CPR while utilizing the defibrillator. Why do I get that mixed up all the time? 2 times before the victim regained consciousness. Officer Brady then responded down to the street level and began to direct traffic, which allowed the ambulance to quickly remove the victim to Beth Israel Hospital, where he was stabilized. So we really just want to applaud these officers coming together, coordinating a team to make sure that we were able to save the life of a person. No pulse, not breathing. That person is here today because of the actions of these officers, and we want to thank them on behalf of all Brooklynites. I salute Police Officer Michael Brady for conducting a patrol at the Marcy Avenue station on the L line and rendering aid to a 60-year-old man who entered through the turnstile and collapsed. I applaud him for initiating CPR and coordinating with the other officers and bringing back the life of an individual who would not have been here if it wasn't for the actions of these officers. As the Brooklyn Borough President, I salute you, I thank you, and continue to do the great work that you're doing. Great job, officer. Great job.
Hi, good morning. My name is Keith Shine. I'm the commanding officer of District 33. And thank you very much. Obviously, everyone heard the story, and that's probably, I can't tell it any better than that, but what I can tell you is I received an email a couple days ago from the individual who they saved. It was from his son. Wow. And if you bear with me for a minute, I'll just read it to you. It's real quick. It says, "Hi, Captain. My name is Alan Steiner. My father is Mark Steiner. He was saved by you and your fellow officers last Thursday." That's not correct. I wasn't there. It was just these officers. He just had bypass surgery. Everything went well, thank God. Me and my family would like to thank you and your officers from the bottom of our hearts. You saved my father, and now he will continue to have his life. His daughter, my sister, is giving birth in December, and because of these officers, he will live to be a grandfather. And I think that pretty much says it all. Gave life, made a grandfather.
Okay. All right, everyone, I need you all to look at me. We're going to take 3 or 4 shots. So I need big smiles,